Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming podcast. Today is the 4th September of 2018. My name is Kralizec and I will be your host for this evening. The second host with me here today is Tygergamer. Hey Tiger, how are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How about you?
Tired today. Been doing a lot of laundry, like more than I think I ever did in a single day ever.
I can relate to that.
I hate laundry, man. But we're not here to talk about laundry. We're here to talk about video games. So, what have you been playing this week?
Well, first off, I played and beat this game called Donut County.
Okay, that sounds weird. What is it?
It is weird. The main draw of this game is the main gameplay, the gameplay mechanic of you playing as a whole.
A whole?
And yes, a whole.
What?
You start as a in each level you start as a very small hole, and you have to like suck stuff down into the hole in order to get bigger, so you can suck up more bigger stuff.
What? Sorry, can you like what? That sounds either spectacularly high, like on very strong drugs, or very weird.
Or very imaginative.
Sure, let's call it that way.
Yeah.
So what genre is this?
Oh my! I don't even know what to classify it as.
Okay, so when I'm looking at Steam, it says it's a story-based physics puzzle game.
Now that I can see, because there are like some puzzles, but they're not like there are only like a few levels that have puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Also the story, it's nothing to write home about. But there are some funny stand-up moments throughout the game. But if you're interested in it, I will not spoil it. So.
Yeah, I wonder. This is just probably a game targeted at probably casual gamers who just want to have fun for 20 minutes, I guess, right?
Yeah, or really only took me like 2 hours to complete the game. And then I spent another hour getting all the... I play on PS4, so I spent another hour getting all the trophies. So I 100% completed the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
but
how much is it?
Me, I got it for $10 because they had a discount if you went bought the game last week. So.
And do you think it's worth the $10 or slightly more now?
I would say, yeah, because even though it has a weird gameplay mechanic, I would have loved to play just a little more. I wish they had like a little more levels in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only complaint with the game.
Yeah, it's for it to be longer. 2 hours for $10 is, in my opinion, quite a lot. I know it's not a lot compared to, let's say, going to the cinema, where you will probably spend much, much more money on 2 hours or less of entertainment. But when it comes to video games, I would criticize the games for being way too short for this kind of money. I would expect like $5 for 2 hours.
Now, it's for PS4 and PC, but it's also for Mac and iOS. And on iOS, it actually only costs $5 on there. So
you think? And is it also available for Android?
I looked on the site, and I didn't see any Android. So
Yeah, let me search. Donut County Android. There's a lookalike on the App Store. Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be available on Android, at least at the moment.
yeah,
But yeah, for phone, I can imagine this actually being a fun game.
yeah.
Or tablet, obviously. Okay, I also played a very crazy game this week. One of the highly anticipated games this year, I would say. I played 2 Point Hospital, and yeah, this game is just bonkers weird. It's your regular simulator of hospital. It's everything you would expect, except everything is just weird and crazy. So, especially the diseases. The diseases.
Yeah.
They're, like, my favorite one so far is lightheadedness, where your
Oh yeah.
where your head literally turns into a head bulb, into a light bulb.
Yep.
There are diseases that turn you into clowns, and or there's a disease where, for example, you just get a pan stick to your head. And you know what's the way to treat it?
What's
Obviously, you take the person to a giant fucking magnet and just fling him around until they release from the pan. That's how you do hospital stuff, isn't it? So,
oh wow.
if you love any sort of simulator, whether it's SimCity or Prison Simulator, but you also love some wacky humor, 2 Point Hospital has that in spades. And I would highly suggest you play this. And it's even not that pricey, to be honest. It's €34.99, so I'm assuming probably the same price in dollars, because we Europeans have to pay more for games for some reason. And it has a sale going on until tomorrow for $31.49, at least on PC. And yeah, the game runs well. The graphics are on point. They are very reminiscent of Theme Park and Team Hospital, which obviously this is based off of, like, spiritually, I would say. And I really hope they also make a spiritual successor for Theme Park. Yeah, because honestly, I enjoyed that one better. It just had more, I don't know, it was closer to my heart. But obviously, you also have to run the hospital. You have to make sure you have enough money to pay your staff. You have to keep making the hospital better. There are like special events where you have a health inspector come in, and you literally have to have your hospital be hygienic. So it's not completely all just weird ass stuff. But yeah, the weird ass stuff is definitely prominent, and if you just take the time, and enjoy it, like, there's a new disease. So you just find someone who has that disease, zoom in on him, and watch him go through the treatment. Yeah, you're definitely gonna enjoy that, and you're definitely gonna think this is how medicine should be practiced. Plus, it's pretty much infinite fun if you love these kind of games. These games can last you for thousands of hours. There's only one feature which I have been missing, though I assume it is like at the very end of the campaign, and that is complete free-form creation. Because so far I've been like,
yeah,
there's like a campaign that takes you, you start with a small hospital, it teaches you the basics. Then it takes you to another hospital where it teaches you about that you can buy more buildings for your hospital and thus expand. Third one teaches you more about how to manage your staff, etc., etc., etc. But honestly, I would have just enjoyed a free form where I could just build a perfect layout for a hospital. And yeah, it sort of sucks that it's not available straight away. You probably, I'm assuming, because I haven't gotten to the very end, I'm assuming that in the end it just says, you know what, here's a plot of land, enjoy making a hospital here. but so far I haven't got there. And if it's not there, I'm actually gonna be pissed and very pissed, to be honest.
No doubt, because e- even though it's fun to play through a campaign in these types of games, it's even more fun if you're able to like go and do freeform, so you can go and create your own stuff without any limits.
So I'm actually like wondering what kind of people give this a negative review. So for example, the most not recommended one says the game is enjoyable at the beginning, though it has problems when you go to the harder and larger hospitals, as it has some pathing issues, bad AI. Yeah, okay. That's probably problems, and I'm assuming this game was sort of rushed out because it like there were no delays on this game, and making a good complex simulator is hard. Let's face that. So I'm assuming, maybe wait on this for a little moment if you just want to play it completely straight away. But if you just want to have fun and you're okay with occasional glitches, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but for the most part, I just see like positive reviews for the vast majority of people.
That's good.
Okay, what else have you played this week?
I also got to play a game called The Messenger for Switch.
Mm-hmm. And what is that?
It's in a way, it's kind of like an homage to the original Ninja Gaiden series for the NES, where you play as a ninja who has to go and deliver a scroll to the top of a mountain.
Okay.
And of course, like like in the beginning, it's a linear game, but halfway through the game, it becomes more opened up and it becomes more like a Metroidvania. But unfortunately, I have not made it to that point yet. But yeah, you pretty much have all your platforming mechanics, wall climbing, wall sticking. Also, at one point in the game, like the game starts out in an 8-bit pixel style, and then at one point it goes into a 16-bit pixel art. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. But unfortunately, I'm still like pretty early in the game, so I really ain't gotten that far. And also another thing, one thing this week is the games that we've played have a sense of humor to them. And that includes this game as well, because you can like talk to like the shopkeeper and all that, and he'll have like different stories or jokes to tell you. Or my favorite is every time you die, there's just like this little demon thing who insults you every single time you die.
Yeah, that's a common theme in like games that they were just taunting you. So it was more the classic concept of carrot on a stick and a whip behind your back. So the carrot is pretty obvious in games to finish the game. But the older games also included the concept of the whip by taunting you when you screwed up. And honestly, I personally prefer the carrot on a stick approach. That's what we're, for example, going on for majority of Chibera. But I do understand that sometimes the whip is also important.
Yeah. Actually, the demon, I think his name is called Kerbal. He's the demon that insults you every time you die. That kind of reminds me of back when my brother and I were younger. Every time one of us would die, we'd have something insulting to say, like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that," or something like that. So that kind goes back on like my childhood and all that. But also, every time you die, you have to like collect like these things called time shards. And every time you die, he appears, and for some time until you collect enough shards, he stays with you. And the shards that you collect, they don't go to you; they go to him, because you owe him a debt every time you die.
Okay, so he's like sort of the Grim Reaper, I guess, and you can pay him off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, the Messenger is out for Switch and PC, and it costs $20. So, if you're interested in these types of games, go and give this game a try.
Okay, I haven't really played anything else other than 2 Point Hospital. Because, well, I was packing mostly for my vacation. It started next week, so I didn't have that much time to play. Did you get to play anything else?
Oh yeah, also I got to play a little bit of this game called Graveyard Keeper.
Okay, so that seems like you're going to be playing as a keeper. And let me guess, of a graveyard?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm good at guessing.
But first off, I will disclose that this game is in early access right now. It's for PC, and it's also on the Xbox One preview program. And the way I played it, they had it on Game Pass. So since I was already paying for Game Pass, I had to pay anything to play it. So I pretty much got to play it without having to pay. So go on and get that out of the way. But if you decide to buy it, it costs $20. So. But yeah, you pretty much play as a guy. You start out in our world, and apparently he gets hit by a car, and then he wakes up in this medieval village, and he is told that he has to manage his graveyard, and you have to every single day, a donkey brings a new body to the graveyard. So you get to go and get the body ready so you can bury it. You have to get rid of all like if they have like red skulls, that means they have some sins on them. So you have to extract like blood and fat to get rid of those red skulls. You can also extract other organs too, but that might cause a mistake in the surgery, which will add to the red skulls. So you gotta be careful what you extract and what you don't, because you gotta try and get your graveyard up to par, so that we can open up. So that way the bishop will open up the church for you, and you can start having sermons and all that, and scaring the villagers into attending church and helping hunt for witches.
So it's essentially the continuation of 2 Point Hospital. If you fail, you go to Graveyard Keeper.
I guess so.
Yeah, it sounds like a sim, just with a different theme than 2 Point Hospital. Is there also like some wacky shit going on here?
Well, there's a talking skull. There's that. But I'm still like fairly early in the game, so and this game is in early access, so the game will possibly change over time. So
okay, and what do you give it a recommendation?
Yeah, yes and no. If you're wary of early access games on PC, I would say wait for the full release, then see how it stacks up. Or if you're on Xbox One and you have Game Pass, go and pick this game up because you get it free with Game Pass. So
Okay, and anything else you got to play this week?
No. How about you?
As I said,
No.
not
Yeah.
really. So,
Of course, I haven't.
let's move on to the next section of the show. Let's talk about last week's news. And obviously, we have to start with the big news of last week. The mass shooting that happened at a Madden 19 tournament in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to assume the vast majority of you already heard about this, but just to give you a quick recap, on Sunday there was a tournament of Madden NFL 19, and a person who was one of the person who were playing in the tournament, who apparently lost and then came back and killed 2 people, injured 10 others, and then killed himself. Obviously, this was not a very pleasant thing to hear about when you're a gamer.
Yes.
This was probably the worst thing I have heard about gaming in a very long time, to be honest. Before we go into much of the information, we actually have a little video coming. It's pretty graphic. Please think about whether you should watch it. Maybe mute it. It's not graphic in the sense that, yeah, it's just weird. So let's watch it.
Yeah. Joe writes down 7-0 after the first drive by Tree Boy. Got a lot of good games going on.
So far it seems pretty.
It's not a tough out today. Excuse me, not an easy.
And suddenly there's gunshots.
Oh, fuck, what are you shooting with? Oh.
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's probably enough. So, yeah, this happened. The people who died were Tyler Robinson, who was 28 years old, and Elijah Clayton, 22. And the shooter, who was named David Katz, he was 24. He was also known by his internet name, Brett. The other Madden 19 tournaments that were supposed to be held were canceled. It's pretty apparent that this was just an horrific thing that happened. It's pretty clear that this person, David, was addicted to video games, as he was admitted to psychiatric hospitals many times over his addiction. He missed many hours in school because of gaming. Once, when his mother confiscated his video games, he actually punched the hole to the wall and was just not good, to be honest. Sorry, what do you say? Tyler? Do you hear me? Tyler, wave if you can hear me. Tyler, do you hear me? Okay, give me a second. Tyler, do you hear me? Okay, we seem to have some technical stuff here going on. Give me a second so I can figure out what is going on, because Skype just likes to be weird. Let's just quickly reconnect. Maybe that will help. Okay, yeah, there seems to be some issue with Skype. Give us a second. Okay, Tyler, do you hear me?
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It was some weird Skype issue, as there very often is, because Skype is not great.
No, it's not.
But as I was saying, yeah, this guy was pretty obviously addicted to video games.
Yeah, most definitely.
For once, we have to praise EA. They decided to donate $1 million to the victims, and they will be holding a tribute/fund live stream that will be taking place September 6th. So if you guys feel sympathetic at all, I highly suggest you watch that live stream, maybe contribute a little. I'm definitely planning to do that. An interesting fact is the owner of the bar, which was named Good Luck, Have Fun, actually was in a dispute with the city, which was like the owner of the property, over security concerns already. And on the other hand, the city wanted the owners to no longer be able to be the owners of the bar. So that maybe there was some like security flaws in there that could have maybe helped to prevent this. On the other hand, to be honest, I don't think this was something anybody was expecting to happen.
No.
So I really don't know what to say about this.
Me either. It's a shame that it happened, but hey, gotta move on.
You know what? I think we were very lucky, like as gamers, that it didn't happen at a first-person shooter event.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Because from what I heard, already the media has been just portraying this as gamers just are violent and we should ideally ban them. And can you imagine how could they spin if it was like a CSGO event? And the last piece of related news to this is one of the attendees of this tournament who has been hurt is actually suing EA, Jacksonville Lightning Investment, Slayman Enterprises, Chicago Pizza, the Good Luck Have Fun Esport Bar, and a few others because, well, this happened. His name is Jacob Medic. He was injured by a gunshot to the leg during this, and I gotta say, I don't like this guy.
No.
I understand that he's probably very pissed off and hurt because he got shot. But you know what? EA has already decided to give $1 million away. That's a quite substantial amount of money. If we do a quick calculation and we just assume it's going to get divided between the 12 people that, you know, got hurt. So if we take 1 million and divide it by 12, that's $83,000.
Yeah.
That's not a bad sum of money.
No, it's not.
And to be honest, I think this is like, if the same thing happened in Europe, nobody from the victims would ever think about suing the bar. Nobody ever. And nobody would think about suing EA either. I think this is an American thing, to be honest.
Yeah, really.
You guys really like to sue for the stupidest shit.
I
don't know why.
And also, apparently, we also like to cause shootouts for the stupidest reasons too.
Yeah, that's also true for some reason. Though, you know what? We just have knife stabbings.
Mm.
So, I wouldn't, like, blame yourself for this one too hard.
I'm not. I'm just saying, sometimes people are stupid.
And this guy was pretty obviously mentally unstable.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems that he got pissed off because he lost and just couldn't handle it. So, let's end this one on two notes. First one is, if you are a gamer, do not let yourself feel like you're responsible for this in any way, because you are not.
No, you're not.
What I suggest you do is go to Livestream and help fund the victims, to show that you're empathetic, to show that you care, to show that gamers are actually good people.
Yep.
And the second note I would like to talk about is here, if you're a parent and you have a child, don't let it get this far. Don't let your children play games for hours and hours and hours. And I know I'm the one talking. It's literally my job to play games. And the same goes for Tiger.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between having this as work and having this as an addiction.
Yeah. It is.
But otherwise, I don't think there's that much more to say about this, to be honest.
And also, I like to add, it like if you're a parent, or if you're a person that's experiencing that you know that you have mental health issues, go see a therapist or something. Get yourself or your children sorted out, so we don't have to go through this every single day over here, just about. Because it seems like just like every day is like another shooting reported on the news. So.
Okay, let's move on to the second topic, which sadly isn't any less pessimistic.
Yeah.
This one comes from China, as China cracks down on game approval even more, and allegedly to curb poor eyesight. So this is a story that originates from Bloomberg, and Bloomberg reported that there are new gaming regulators that came as a part of a wider series of edicts that included encouraging outdoor activities and restricting the usage of electronic devices. They say the aim of these regulations is to reduce the cases of myopia. If you don't know what myopia is, it's nearsightedness. So when you hear that, you say, okay, that makes sense. Staring into a screen all day is probably not ideal for your eyesight. I can, like, say okay for that. The problem is when you hear the last part. By 0.5% a year until 2023. That means around, it's actually cumulative, so it's around 4% in 5 years. That's such a low number that it's obviously just a decoy. So apparently the press and publications are going to be responsible for the regulation, as the use of electronic products for non-learning purposes should not exceed 15 minutes and should not be more than 1 hour per day. So this has obviously hit the Chinese market pretty hard, as has the previous news of games not being approved in China. Tencent and NetEase both dropped by 5% in their share values. It also hit Japan fairly strong, where Capcom dropped 7.5%. Serkan Toto, who is a Tokyo-based game consultant, is concerned that this is very unlikely the last that we're going to hear about China trying to gain more control over how games are being distributed and played in China. He said, the government seems determined to send a message to parents that they agree games are evil and usage must therefore be restricted. So, yeah, this is not great news. China is the largest gaming market in the world, and such heavy restrictions, in combination with some stuff that I heard about in the past weeks. So, have you watched Orville?
Say it again?
Did you watch Orville, the series that is like homage to Star Trek?
I don't think I have, no.
Oh, you definitely should. First of all, it's awesome. But there was an episode of where they encountered a planet where essentially everything was like now, except they have taken social media as their government, essentially. It was true democracy where, you know, everybody could vote on everything, including the social status of everybody else. They were literally wearing these little patches where you could give them a like or a dislike. And if they had too many dislikes, they would go to trial. And if they failed the trial, they would get lobotomized.
Dang.
So, China is essentially implementing that system, but from a state control point of view. China is implementing a social score system. And it's already being tested out on millions of people. And one of the points where you get your score is how much games you own and play. Obviously, there are other things, you know, like if somebody reports you that you threw litter out on the street, that you were mean, and obviously if you talk shit about a communist party in China, etc., etc. And it has some serious repercussions. Like, ones that might seem fairly okay when you hear about it. So it's like, maybe you will not get as good of a hotel as you could otherwise.
Yeah.
But there are also things like, you will not be able to buy tickets for the train. So you will not be able to travel. And coming from a post-communist country, this shit scares the fuck out of me.
It scares the crap out of me too.
Yeah. Rightfully so, because people, like a lot of people in the West, they still think of China as this backwater country that lives about 30, 40 years behind us. That's not true, man.
No, that's not. It is not.
And China could very easily make the rest of the world suffer very hard. And not even by like going into war. They could just say, you know what? Our factories, they're not going to make stuff for you anymore. The world would go into depression instantly. It would also cause a depression in China for sure. But if they like had years to prepare it and they had a plan that they could implement, it would, you know, it would cause much less trouble for them. And the countries that would like agree to become their allies and implement a lot of their systems, they could be impacted less, and many countries could just go for it. China is fucking scary, people. And this is one thing I hate about Americans when hearing about your politics. You guys are still scared of Russia for some reason that I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't understand either, and I'm American, so.
I understand why Czech people are scared of Russia, because we're dependent on them for our gas and our uranium for our nuclear plants. But why are you guys scared the fuck out of them?
Yeah, really.
You guys should be scared of China And we guys
Yeah,
here should
really.
be scared of China as well. And luckily, I think a lot of people are. Because when they hear about stuff like this, they just see, you know what, this reminds me of the life I lived before the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
But back to gaming, this scares me for the reason that if gaming will become, quote unquote, the evil thing in China, that will impact the global market very heavily. And on a bit more personal level, we were very hoping to have a bunch of players from China for Chibera, to be honest. The MMO genre is very popular in Asia, in China especially.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
we were like, we literally designed a class with mind of the Asian market and China especially. So yeah, so that's not ideal for Chibera either.
No,
that
it's
reminds
not.
me, I should send this article to our CEO, why I still remember.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to the last piece of bad news this week. But this one isn't that bad. It's just incredibly dumb and baffling. So, Thomas Bach, the president of the International Olympic Committee, complaining about violence in video games again. So he said a game which is promoting violence or discrimination without giving, and he didn't give an example of any game that does that, said is not in line with the Olympic principles and values. So-called killer games. They, from our point of view, are contradictory to the Olympic values and cannot therefore be accepted. I'm sorry, guys.
Excuse you.
I really tried to hold it in, but I couldn't. The most baffling thing and the most stupid thing about this is the fact he's actually a gold medalist from 1976. Can you guess in which sport?
Fencing.
Yes, it was fencing. It was literally a sport where you try to stab another person with a fucking sword. Does that make even the slightest bit of fucking sense? Him complaining about violence? What he said on top to when people ask him about that, he said, "Of course every combat sport has its origins in a real fight among people, but sport is the civilized expression about this. If you have e-games where it's about killing somebody, this cannot be brought in line with our Olympic values." Dude, nobody's dying when you're playing video games.
Yeah, really.
It's pixels and zeros and ones and a GPU and CPU and memory.
Yep.
There's nobody's even getting hurt. Okay, I will give you this. Some people will suffer from carpal tunnel syndrome.
Yeah.
Some people might suffer from exhaustion. But you have literally people who have, like, breaking their skull playing hockey.
Yeah, really.
You have horrific injuries when playing rugby or even soccer. Have you seen some of the injuries from playing soccer?
Yes, I have.
Like the leg just bent in a very unnatural way. It's just disgusting. This doesn't happen with gaming.
No, it does not.
I will agree with him on this. I do not want to see video games at the Olympics. And if it should be Olympics, I think it should be their own Olympics.
There you go.
Like, you know, we have summer games, we have winter games, and then we have e-games. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think the video games should go to the summer games or the winter games. It just doesn't make sense. Both of those events are about a celebration of what the human body is capable of. And I do realize that there are some sports that very much like video games are more about patience and strategy and thinking. Let's say for patience, you have there's literally a sport that's about shooting guns as precisely as you can at the Olympics. I know that because one Czech girl like won the gold medal, and we're a small country, so every gold medal is celebrated to no end. And there's also a combination of cross-country skiing and shooting at targets, biathlon. And Czechs are very good at that for some reason. When it comes to like thinking and strategy, you can say that about almost any team sport. It's not only about athletics, it's also about strategy.
Yep.
But I really don't think that video games should be at the Olympics. I agree with him there, but his reasoning baffles me.
Yeah.
This was probably one of the dumbest statements I've heard, like, in years.
Yeah, really.
And I've heard plenty of dumb statements. Okay, that's enough for the bad and dumb news. Let's go into something positive. Let's start with some rumors that come from Revenge of the Fans, as they think Netflix is developing a new series around Diablo the video game. So, Netflix has already dabbled into video game series with Castlevania, which was really good, and the second season is coming at the end of October. And a rumor just arrived that Diablo might be getting its Netflix series. And honestly, I really want it to be true. For several reasons. First of all, I think Diablo has great potential to make a good series, you know, with just like, you start as a guy in a village and you go into the wild and you just start killing monsters. Eventually, like mid-season, you encounter like bigger demon. Then again, there's some story, and in the end, you just fight Diablo. It makes total sense. It has a story plot written straight into it. Apparently, the rumor is that there is already a writer hired for the show. His name should be Andrew Cosby. You probably never heard of him before, but he's currently writing the Hellboy remake. And he's the co-founder of Boom Studios. And he also worked on a few interesting shows as Haunted and one of my all-time favorites, Eureka, which is just great. If you've never watched Eureka, go watch that. It's seriously
go watch it. It's a great show.
But the main reason I'm really excited about this is my own personal conspiracy theory that I told here many, many times. Video games will be the next big thing when it comes to movies and TV series. And Diablo has the potential to like be the initial TV series that shows that games can tell serious stories. Because yes, when you play Diablo, most of you will probably not care about the lore that much. But Blizzard has fleshed out the lore of Diablo so hard, so heavily, and it's so freaking awesome. Just go and find a compilation of all the cinematics from Diablo, and you will be amazed, especially from Diablo 3. Those just look epic. Blizzard is so good with cinematics.
Yes.
It's like their core skill, to be honest. It's probably why they're so popular.
Actually, I think they have two core skills: cinematics and world building.
Yeah, and on
Those
top
are two
of that,
that,
yeah, and on top of that, they actually know how to make fun games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really want to see this happen, and man, I will be praying to all the gods. Jehovah, Allah, even though that's technically the same god. Shiva the Destroyer, please bring us Diablo the series. I don't care which of the gods answer, but I just want to see this happen.
Yeah, I'd like to see it too.
Would you also like to see a Diablo movie, or you think this is better suited for a TV series.
Honestly, I would say it's better suited for as a TV series.
Why do you think so? No,
Well,
I agree with you. Just want to say, I agree with you. I just want to know your reasoning.
The reason why is considering, like, you can fit more of, like, the world in a series than you could in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, that's essentially my reasoning as well. And I think there are games that will be better suited for a movie. I think like The Elder Scrolls Oblivion would be perfect for a movie. Even though that might, it's an open world game, and obviously you can just portray an adventurer going on quests for a long TV series. I think that would be dull, because most of the quests in Elder Scrolls, let's face it, are fairly dull.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
you know what?
Yeah.
A good way that they could do, like, going back to the Oblivion example.
Mm-hmm.
A good way they could do that is, like, spend, like, part of the movie in Tamriel and spend, like, another part of the movie, like, in the Oblivion realm.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but why I think that one fits for a movie very well is because, in actuality, the main storyline can be condensed very heavily.
Oh, yeah.
You just need to have a prisoner who has chosen by fate. Then he goes to Quatch, where he first sees the demons of Oblivion. And then you just get him, find blades, etc. And it can be condensed a lot. You don't have to go... You can just reduce the number of portals. You can just say there are like 3 portals. Something like that. And then you have that epic battle as Martin turns into a dragon at the end.
Yeah.
I played that game too many times because I still remember this shit, don't I? And I remember the names.
I do too.
Honestly, I prefer the storyline of Oblivion to Skyrim.
Me too.
I think the Dragonborn one was like, yeah, cool. I know both the games are essentially you're the chosen one. But the Skyrim one, and it was a better game, don't get me wrong there, like mechanically. But story-wise, I preferred Oblivion.
Yeah, same here.
What I can't wait to see the Witcher series.
Me too.
I'm sad that they decided to go with Geralt, to be honest. I understand why it's more of a sure thing to make money. But I think, like, Witcher is just begging to have a prequel. Where,
yeah, really.
You just have a new Witcher introduced. Somebody, like, before. And you could, like, have... Every season you could follow a different Witcher on his adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time where there were, like, hundreds of Witchers. So you could just essentially run it forever. And you just get to know more Witchers. Instead of just knowing Geralt. And Geralt is awesome, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe it will happen eventually, but I think that will fall on the hands of CD Projekt Red to create a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on from visual to audio entertainment. As more good news is upon us, this time coming from the United Kingdom Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. As the head of it, James William, who is the managing director of the RPO, said that game music is a great access point for children who are first discovering classical music. More specifically, he said, I think exposure to orchestra music in all its form is a fantastic thing. It's encouraging to hear that there are platforms and opportunities for young people to engage with orchestra music, albeit in different mediums. It is about sparking their interest. What we are finding is once we have lit the fire, there is a real desire to carry that journey on and explore. If video games are the trigger and the catalyst, that can only be a really positive thing. And yeah, I agree with him. I
do too.
I never really enjoyed like classical orchestra music apart from movies and video games.
Same here.
I'm not a guy who will go to a concert and just listen to an orchestra. It's not my thing. When I'm going to a live performance, I prefer it to be drunk and just jump around and kick people because I like to listen to punk music. But I don't enjoy sitting for a long time. Let me put it that way, unless I'm doing something. If I'm sitting, I need to be doing something. I will just not sit and be like, and I know I can't keep a tone. I wish I could. But you know what? Honestly, if I could sing, I think I would be a singer. I would love to be a singer. I love the showmanship, and I would really enjoy just being the guy on stage and just playing off the crowd. But yeah, apparently there was a poll by YouGov that said that 1 in 6, that's 15% of children, listen to classical music when it's part of a computer game that they're playing. I think that's actually, and it's more like listen as you, it's not like you're just in the background, but you really focus on it. And I think that's a good number, to be honest.
Yeah, really.
And you know what? I've been thinking about this, and I would really love to get some orchestra music for Tibera.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
It might be slightly out of our money range for the moment, but maybe for like an expansion pack. But yeah, orchestral music, when done right, is insanely epic. And
also, tidbit: if you have trouble sleeping, listen to some classical music. It'll put you right to sleep, and that's coming from experience.
What I do is I go and put on footage from the Parliament. That works well too.
Yeah. Yeah, me. I just pull up some classic music on Spotify and just fall asleep to that.
Yeah, I usually just like have some YouTube videos about science. Okay, and let's move on to the last piece of news. This one is epic. It took 24 years, but the last secret in Doom 2 has been finally unlocked through official means. So, this was achieved by a speedrunner who is called Zero Master. And as I said already, it took him 24 years.
Dang.
We also have a video of this. You cannot see that much of it, to be honest, as you know, it's a tiny secret. Though we want to show you this because we want to explain to you how this works. So let me run the video here, and you can watch. So yeah, here you can see somebody playing Doom 2, and yeah, he just standing here, and he's waiting for a monster to come to him. Even though that might sound weird from a speedrunner, because he's not really speedrunning, he's trying to get a world first complete 100% completion of Doom 2. Because that was never possible until this point. It's going to happen soon, in about a few seconds. He finally gets the mob to notice him, it's coming for him, and it knocks him, and the secret is revealed, getting him to the world first 100% completion of Doom 2. So,
dang.
People have known about this secret for some time, and they were able to get it using cheats. But he was the first one to get it without any cheats. So Zero Master actually went on YouTube and explained it, and he said, a secret can only be triggered if Doom Guy's center is within the secret area, and he is on the same height as the secret sector. But Romero, the creator of Doom 2, if you by some reason don't know this, came to Twitter and explained that you don't enter the secret sector when you touch it by normal means. So you would never get inside the teleporter sector to trigger the secret. As a result, if you went to the Doom Wikipedia to the industrial zone, it was impossible to get the secret, or it was considered to be impossible. But Zero Master found a way to do it. He lured a pain elementer and used the knockback from his attack to bump him back into the secret. More specifically, this forces you down to the lowest floor the moving door is on, which puts you within the secret sector and on the same height, thus triggering the secret. Don Romero personally congratulated him, saying that, yeah, after 24 years, it takes that long for somebody to unlock this. And now we just have to wait for the new world records to keep flooding in with a 100% completion of Doom 2.
That is awesome.
Yeah, this is like an epic tale that looks really unspectacular on camera, but it is really cool.
Yeah, it is.
I wish games these days had stuff like this. I know they have secrets, but often they're just almost hidden in plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's it for the news, unless you have some topic you think we omitted.
Nope. Sure
Then let's go to the last section of the show. Let's talk about games that are releasing next week. So, would you like to begin?
First I would like to recommend a game that just came out today. It's Dragon Quest XI. It's the newest RPG from Square Enix. From what I heard, they really have not changed. They have not innovated in the genre, but I heard that the game is still fun to play. So there's that for that. And it's just a typical turn-based RPG. So like those kind of games, go for it. And just to let you know, it's for PS4 and PC, and it's full price. So
yeah, it's $60 or 60 euros.
Yeah.
I personally would like to begin with a game that takes heavy inspirations by classics from LucasArts, Tiny and Tall, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Gleipnir, which is, as you might assume, classical point-and-click adventure game with very cutesy graphics. It's not a game I will play myself because I'm not a big fan of point-and-click adventure games. I don't have the patience for them, and usually they have some weird moon logic, especially if they're inspired by LucasArts, and I don't have the patience for that. But yeah, it looks good, and if you're a fan of this classical genre, this should definitely be something you should keep an eye on. The game is coming out also today in about 20 hours. It's going to be available on PC, maybe something else. Honestly, I don't know. Okay, when I'm going to IndieDB, it seems it's only a PC release. Sadly, we do not know the price at this point. Okay, what else would you like to recommend?
And also, I'd also like to recommend Marvel's Spider-Man, which is coming out PS4 on September 7th, which is this Friday. It's a new Spider-Man game, and from what I heard from some reviews that came out this morning, it's one of the best. It's one of the best Spider-Man games ever made. So, if you're a Spider-Man fan, I hope you're looking forward to this game as much as I am, because this is going to be the game that I'm going to pick up this week, and I'm going to spend the weekend playing it. So,
and you're probably going to enjoy it. At least I hope so.
Oh yeah.
I'm sad it's not on the PC. I'm still hoping it's going to come to the PC eventually.
Unfortunately, I see that being highly unlikely, considering Sony owns the game rights to Spider-Man and it's developed by Insomniac, which they're not known for. They're known for developing for consoles, not PC. So, hopefully, it will one day.
Let me dream, man.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah, I know. Now, this is actually one of the things I don't like about console exclusives. Like, you see a game that's developed by and Insomniac is associated with Sony. Like when you think about Insomniac, you think about PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not a Sony-owned studio because they also developed one multi-platform game back in 2012, and they also developed Sunset Overdrive for Xbox One back in 2014. So, yeah, they're kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, me, I'm both a Spider-Man fan and an Insomniac fan because I grew up with both Spider-Man and Insomniac. Mm-hmm. So this seems like it'd be a good match.
Yeah, and I'll save my opinion on console exclusives for some other day.
Yeah, I agree. But like if you're not like if you don't own a studio and you ask like a second party studio to develop an exclusive for you, they should eventually release it for other platforms as well, because I know there's people from like on Xbox One and of course you're on PC, so I know y'all would love to play this game too.
Yeah, so. But I will not be buying a console to play a single game.
I know.
Oh, and the last game I would like to recommend is called Immortal Unchained. And this is the latest installment in the genre of Dark Soulsy games. And man, does this one look freaking epic. I really enjoyed last year's The Surge because it took the Dark Souls genre but put it into a sci-fi setting. And this game seems to be doing the same, though I think this one could be called more of a gothic sci-fi, to be honest, you know, like Warhammer 40k is. But everything looks spectacular. I really hope my notebook will be able to handle this, because I really want to play this. But I'm going on vacation, and I will not be able to play many games.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sort of afraid it will probably not be able to handle it. Certainly not to a degree where I could evaluate it much. Because my laptop is like 4 years old, and it's like it wasn't like the worst thing. It has dedicated graphics cards. It runs Rocket League at medium. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
And Rocket League is its own case. It runs on pretty much a potato. But yeah, Immortal Unchained. It's coming on the 7th. It's going to cost $49.99, so almost full price. One thing concerns me, though. It's coming from a studio that hasn't done much yet. So hopefully they will be able to do this right.
Yeah. Though, I will say this, though, since it's coming out the same day as Spider-Man, I would say, yeah, I'd say pick this game up if you are not able to pick up Spider-Man, so it might be a good substitute.
Mostly I will probably be playing like board games on my vacation. Honestly, I will not be able to get much work in terms of game reviewing done on my vacation because I'm going with my girlfriend, so I will have to pay attention to her. And if we're going to play games, it will probably be something we can play together. We have Talisman ready on my notebook. We got a few other board games, you know, like Settlers of Catan. Just essentially the basics. So hopefully, at least I will be able to talk about those for their PC versions.
Yeah.
That's it for my recommendations. Do you have anything you would like to recommend?
Nope. Sure don't.
Then let's slowly bring this show to an end, and as we do traditionally, we do that by shilling. Would you like to begin?
Yes. Yes, I will. You can find me on YouTube as Tygergamer. I do Let's Plays, and occasionally, sometimes, I might do a review on Steam It, which you can find me on there at Tygergamer. So.
And you can go to YouTube and find me at Kralizec Gaming and on Steam It at Kralizec. And I do game reviews and occasional commentaries on issues of the gaming industry or something interesting that is going on in the gaming industry. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's show. And if you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube and subscribing to the channel. If you're watching on Steam It, maybe you want to give us an upvote and follow the blog. Either way, be sure to leave a comment and be sure to tune in tomorrow for more gaming news, as we are a source of daily gaming news every single day. See you guys later with more gaming content.
See you next time. Have a good one.
One thing should be mentioned, next time means in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
Okay. See you guys later.